Bullying. What to do about a problem like bullying? The answer becomes more difficult when so many think it is a valuable part of life that toughens up kids. And yes, it may toughen up some, but for most others, the ones that can't handle it, it can ruin a life, cause lasting mental scars, social issues, and also push people to suicide, while still young and many years later when problems stemming from the original bullying have piled up and become too much to handle. Of course there is two sides of bullying, the victims and the attackers, and I will try and speak on both sides, try to show some understanding. To begin with, I was bullied for so very many years through primary and high school, which has caused me untold social anxieties, self-esteem issues, trouble with making friends and so much more. So on the victim side, as I have touched on, it might only seem like a bit of teasing, but that's not what it feels like, especially when one is copying it from so many with nobody on one side, and each time it sinks further and further into heart and mind until confidence is stripped to nothing, self-esteem is drained, and happiness gets replaced with depression, despair, loneliness, anger, and so many thoughts and feelings that just weigh one's soul down with such heavy weight that some never recover. It's easy to say just laugh it off, or laugh at self so they don't, or stand up for self so they don't see you as an easy target and leave you alone, but it isn't so easy to do, especially when one's confidence has already been worn down. I think that every teacher should have at least some level of qualification in counselling so there is more help available to any students going through problems. Even then, so many kids going through it find they can't talk to anyone about it, or that when they do, they aren't listened to properly or understood with how much of a problem it actually is for them. The issues that can come from being bullied can be so hard for a young person to explain as well, the complicated down feelings that come from it. Now, on the other side of the coin, people that bully think it is just messing around, a bit of teasing that means nothing, most of the time completely unaware of the damage they could be doing. So many do it just to be on the minority side of the crowds, to fit in. Others do it to feel better about themselves if they're having issues. Some do it because it is what they get off others, a lot of the time because they cop similar treatment or worse in their own home from family members, and it just becomes a way of life, something given, learned, and kept going. With the ones that are doing it just to fit in and go along with what others are doing, look cool, be popular, not picked on themselves, greater understanding can be grown about how damaging it can be, and they can learn. The ones that do know just how much damage they are doing, and bully even worse because of it, are people I don't know what to say about. I don't have anything nice or understanding to say on their behalf, as anyone that knowingly pushes someone towards suicide and depression disgusts me and makes me so angry. And when it is someone that is copying it at home, going through the same thing and worse themselves, and find themselves passing the bad treatment on, it makes it so tricky for schools to handle, as nobody deserves to go through it, and the last thing schools want is a kid who does it because of what goes on at home, getting in trouble and copying it even worse at home. There can be counselling at school provided for these bullies who come from being bullied at home, but that only does so much, and it doesn't stop the treatment or cycle of abuse at home. Sure, there would be some parents that would listen and learn, but most would not take it well, someone telling them how to raise their child, and in the case of it being one of the simpler forms of bullying at home, just words here and there, would calling child services really be the right option? Breaking up a family because of words? There would have to be something done though, something said to break the cycle though. People are losing who they are, their light, their entire personalities, and even taking their own lives because of bullying, and it has to end. I know some will say kids just need to learn how to handle it, but like I said before, by the time they realise something needs to be done, they have already lost their confidence and strength, and damage sets in so deep and fast with children, even if it goes unnoticed for a long time. Yes, learning to laugh at oneself so others won't, and learning how to stand up for self so you don't get picked on is important, and can help so many, and should be taught by parents as much as possible. But this article is about the ones that can't do that. The silent voices must be heard, the future suicides stopped years in advance, Understanding must be grown and spread. Spread understanding today, save a life tomorrow. We can do it.